The humid Jacksonville air hung heavy on July 2, not just with the promise of another sweltering summer day, but with a silent, suffocating dread that had finally found its voice. On Manotak Avenue, a street usually alive with the morning chatter of sprinklers and distant gospel music, something profoundly broken was about to be laid bare. This is the story of a secret kept in shadows for far too long, and the devastating price of its revelation. What happens when the scales of justice, long out of balance, are finally tipped by a desperate hand? Stay with us, because this story, this profound tragedy, deserves to be heard. And if you find yourself moved by the complexities of this case, please consider giving this video a like, sharing your thoughts in the comments below, and subscribing to our channel for more deep dives into the human condition. It was just past 3 a.m. on July 2 when the first call came in, a garbled report of a possible dispute on Manotak Avenue. Officer Miller, a veteran with tired eyes and a heart that had seen too much, was the first to arrive. The air was thick with the scent of jasmine and something else, something metallic and sharp. Officer Miller, to himself, muttering another domestic, "Lord, give me strength." Officer Miller approaches the house and sees a slumped figure behind a stairwell, possibly leading to an upstairs apartment. He shines his flashlight on the area. What Officer Miller found was not a dispute. It was a tableau of horror. Officer Miller, speaking into radio, voice tight, he says, "We have a male down, multiple injuries, significant blood loss, requesting JFRD and forensics, Manotak Avenue." The victim was identified as 41-year-old Waduta Woodley. He lay lifeless, his body a testament to a brutal, desperate struggle. But it was not just the scene that spoke volumes. On Woodley's chest, a chilling message had been left. A piece of paper with the words, "PEDO Touches Children," written in bold green highlighter. Officer Miller whispering almost to himself, "Oh Lord." The green highlighter, stark against the fabric of his shirt, screamed a silent accusation. Jacksonville fire and rescue personnel arrived swiftly, but their efforts were futile. Waduta Woodley was pronounced deceased at the scene. The subsequent autopsy would confirm the grim truth: multiple chop injuries. A homicide. Picture this, an interior shot of the residence. The house is modest, neatly kept, but there's a sense of disorder in one area. Detectives, dressed in plain clothes, are carefully navigating the scene with forensic technicians. The clicking of cameras, low voices, the faint hum of air conditioning can be heard. Detective Washington says to his partner, "Detective Davies, this isn't a random act, Davies. This is personal. Look at the note." Detective Davies replies, "Personal, or a cover. People try to throw us off all the time. But the brutality, that's a different kind of anger." The search warrant granted access to the residence, and what investigators found inside began to paint a clearer, yet more disturbing picture. Bloody footprints, distinct and deliberate, led a grim path from the doorway to the bathroom. Detective Washington followed the prints. Our perp was trying to clean up. The detectives enter the bathroom. A metal hammer, its handle stained with blood, lies in the sink. The water is off. There are splashes of blood on the sink basin. Detective Davies, bingo, our weapon. And they didn't even try to hide it well, almost like they wanted us to find it. A metal hammer, its head and handle grimly stained, lay in the bathroom sink, a silent witness to the violence that had unfolded. But the trail of evidence did not end there. The detectives are now in a bedroom. It's a young woman's room with posters on the wall, but a sense of disarray. A forensic tech points to a sink drain plug on a dresser. "Forensic tech detective, we have a sink drain plug here. Looks like it might have some residue." In a bedroom, later identified as belonging to Journey McGrew, a 21-year-old woman, a sink drain plug tested positive for blood. Further inspection of her room revealed more items, covered in the same pale crimson, a pair of Crocs, a black tank top, and sweatpants. Detective Washington. And look here, a pink notebook with loose paper and a green highlighter, the same color as the note on Woodley. Detective Davies, so our perp is likely living here, or was recently. The pieces were falling into place, each one pointing to the young woman who had been detained at the scene by patrol officers. Journey McGrew, 21 years old, is sitting on a curb, handcuffed. She appears calm, almost detached, despite the chaos around her. Her eyes are fixated on the house. Officer Miller is standing nearby. A faint sound of radio chatter, and the hum of the forensic van can be heard. Journey McGrew, a young woman whose life was about to be irrevocably altered, was already in custody. Her demeanor was unsettlingly placid, a stark contrast to the brutal scene just yards away. As she was being led away, she uttered a question that would echo in the minds of the officers. Journey McGrew's voice flat, distant. Is he still alive? Officer Miller hesitates, then says, "No, ma'am, he's gone." The question hung in the air, a whisper of something deeper, something far more complex than a simple query. It hinted at a history, a relationship, a profound connection to the man now lying dead behind the stairwell. In a small, bare interrogation room, Journey McGrew sits at a metal table. Detective Washington and Detective Davies are opposite her. The light is harsh, a recorder is on the table. Detective Washington says, "Ms. McGrew, we need you to tell us what happened tonight." From the beginning, Journey McGrew's, with a soft voice, almost monotone, says, "He came over. I invited him." Detective Davies, "Why did you invite him, Journey?" Journey McGrew, "I sent him a text. I told him I was fantasizing about him, sexually." Detective Washington and Davies exchange a glance. Their expressions are unreadable, but a hint of skepticism or surprise is there. Journey's words were delivered without emotion, a chillingly calm confession that immediately raised red flags for the seasoned detectives. The narrative she began to weave was one of manipulation, of a dark history that stretched back years. Journey McGrew, "He's been grooming me since I was 8 years old. Hey, he used to touch me, all the time, for years." Detective Washington asked, "You're saying Waduta Woodley sexually abused you?" "Since you were a child," Journey replies, "Yes. He was my mother's friend. He was always around." The room grew heavy with the weight of her confession. A history of unimaginable horror, hidden in plain sight, now spilling out in a cold, matter-of-fact tone. She recounted the events of the night Woodley's arrival, his attempt to initiate sex, her denial, her request for him to leave. Journey McGrew, "We were walking to the door, and I grabbed the hammer, and I hit him." Detective Davies, "You struck him with the hammer?" "Multiple times." Journey McGrew, "I just wanted him to stop, to leave me alone, forever." Her words painted a picture of a victim pushed to the brink, a spontaneous act of self-defense born from years of torment. The detectives listened, their faces betraying little, but their minds were racing. Her claims, however, remained uncorroborated. There was no official record of abuse, no police reports, no social services intervention. It was her word against a dead man's silence. Detective Washington and Davies are in their office, late at night. Papers are strewn across the desk, coffee cups sit empty. They are reviewing evidence photos. Detective Davies says, "So, she says he's been abusing her since she was 8. No reports. No one ever saw anything. It's a tough sell for a jury." Detective Washington replies, "People hide things, Davies, especially something like that. For years, the shame, the fear, it eats at them." But the text message, fantasizing about him sexually, that's the part that doesn't sit right. The text message, it was the linchpin of Journey's story, yet it also presented a troubling contradiction. Why invite a tormentor with such a message, only to deny his advances moments later? The detectives felt a nagging unease, a sense that there was a deeper layer to this tragedy. Detective Washington, she had the highlighter, the notebook, the note on Woodley's chest. It all points to her. But the note itself, PEDO Touches Children, that's not a spur of the moment thing. That's a statement. As the investigation continued, a small, seemingly insignificant detail began to surface. While reviewing Journey's digital footprint, a deleted draft of a journal entry was recovered from an old cloud backup. It was dated weeks before the incident. On a computer screen, text appears, June 15. "I can't live like this anymore. the monster still walks. I need a plan, a way to make him phase, or to make it stop. I'll use his own sickness against him, allure a final confrontation. For all the lost years, for the child I was. Detective Davies, reading the screen, a lure, a final confrontation. Washington. You see this? Detective Washington, she didn't just snap, Davies. She planned this. Not out of malice, but out of desperation. A calculated, agonizing act of liberation. The text message, the one about sexual fantasies, was not an invitation born of genuine desire. It was a meticulously crafted lie, a desperate ruse. Journey McGrew, trapped in a nightmare for 13 years, had decided to use Woodley's own predatory nature against him, to lure him to her home for a final, devastating confrontation. The dispute was not a spontaneous argument, but the culmination of a long, suffering plan for freedom. Journey McGrew was formally charged with second-degree murder and tampering with evidence. The revelation of her uncorroborated claims of abuse ignited a firestorm of public debate. The community, already grappling with the complexities of generational trauma and systemic failures, was deeply divided. Inside the courtroom, Journey sits beside her defense attorney, her face pale but resolute. The prosecutor stands at a podium. Prosecutor stern, authoritative. This was not self-defense. This was a premeditated murder. A cold, calculated act of vengeance. The text message, the planning she lured him to his death. Ms. McGrew suffered unimaginable abuse for over a decade. Her actions, while tragic, were the desperate cry of a soul pushed beyond endurance. This was not vengeance, but a desperate act of survival in the face of a system that failed her. The trial became a crucible for larger societal questions, the definition of justice, the weight of unacknowledged trauma, and the boundaries of self-preservation. The defense presented the recovered journal entry, painting a picture of a young woman systematically broken, then forced to become her own liberator. Journey on the stand, her voice trembling slightly but firm. I just wanted it to stop. I wanted to be free. I didn't know any other way. The jury faced an impossible choice: to condemn a perpetrator or to recognize the profound, devastating impact of long-term abuse. The verdict, when it came, would not bring a simple end, but rather a new beginning for a community forced to confront its own shadows. This case draws on the painful realities faced by countless individuals. It serves as a stark reminder of several critical lessons. First, the insidious nature of child abuse. It often thrives in silence, hidden in plain sight, leaving deep, lasting wounds that can shape a person's entire life. We must create environments where victims feel safe to speak out, without fear of judgment or disbelief. Second, the complexities of justice. When a victim, failed by systems designed to protect them, takes matters into their own hands, the lines between victim and perpetrator become blurred. This case forces us to question what justice truly looks like in the face of profound trauma. Third, the importance of corroboration and deep investigation. While initial accounts may seem clear, the truth often lies in the unseen layers, the hidden pain, and the untold stories. Detectives must look beyond the surface, and society must be willing to listen to uncomfortable truths. For those who may be experiencing or have experienced abuse, please know you are not alone. There are resources available. Reach out to trusted adults, counselors, or national helplines. Your voice matters, and your safety is paramount. For communities, it is crucial to foster open dialogue about abuse, to educate ourselves on the signs, and to create a culture of support and protection for our most vulnerable. Silence is not protection, it is complicity. And for those who work within the justice system, remember the human element behind every case file. Empathy, thoroughness, and a commitment to understanding the full scope of a situation can mean the difference between perpetuating a cycle of pain and truly seeking justice. This case on Manotak Avenue asks us to look closely at the shadows in our own communities and to consider the weight of silence. Thank you for reading. If this story resonated with you, please leave a comment sharing your thoughts, hit that like button, and subscribe for more in in-depth explorations of crime and the human experience. Your engagement helps us bring these important stories to light. By the way, if stories of unsolved crimes, baffling evidence, and the relentless pursuit of justice intrigue you, then you're in the right place. Don't forget to hit that like button if you want to see more deep dives into the darkest unknown cases around the world. Subscribe to our channel and ring the notification bell so you never miss an episode. And please share your thoughts in the comments below and let us know what country you are watching this from. We would love to tell more crime stories from your area.